Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Ignition DVD.
We're here at Ignition's new Party Central, Knox nightclub here in Sydney. This issue is our Indy special.
That's right, the Lexmark Indy 300 was pretty wild, and thanks to our friends from Raceline Promotions, we've got some awesome features from the event.
We've also got a Psycho feature car from the US of A and Australia's best show WRX, just to name a few.
First up is Australia's best show, WRX, Sean's Have the Flu.
Sean's WRX was on the cover way back in issue 16, but he's totally rebuilt the car into the showstopper that you're just about to see. Do you know his car is the first car to be on the cover of Hot Fours and Ignition twice? And he did it all in less than 12 months.
It's a pretty big feat. Then we check out a car from the US of A.
That's right, we teamed up with the guys from D Sport magazine, and while we're over in the US, we featured their mental GTR project car.
I heard you got to have a ride in it. What was it like?
1,000 horsepower at the wheels, and a sequential box makes this thing an animal on the street.
Every once in a while, a car storms onto the show scene and sets a new trend. It raises the bar and shatters all notions that show cars have a formula. Then less than a year later, does it all over again. The booster shot's back.
Hey, I'm Sean. I'm back with Have the Flu. Well, I really pretty much started just to do a new boot install. I went over to see the boys at X Customs. It kind of just went from there, like if I needed to do my boot and it was a bit more new trim, and then Chad asked me if I wanted to paint it. Everything's been redone.
Sean's Have the Flu WRX is one of very few cars to grace the cover of Hot Fours twice, and the first to do it in less than 12 months. It's also the first car to grace the cover of Ignition twice. Certainly an achievement in itself.
One of my goals was to get on front cover of Ignition again. A lot of people say it couldn't have been done just because it's the same car, but it's a totally different car altogether again. And then just to be on front cover of Hot Fours as well, twice in 1 year.
Sean didn't just give the car a makeover, he gave it a whole new style. The shaved body kit and suicide doors didn't need to change, but the boys at Exquisite mixed up a two-tone pastel paint job, a popular paint style used in the American hot rod scene. Some custom graphics were then applied to hide the join. Look closely and you can see the brushed aluminium effect and the blue candy. It certainly is trick. The scheme carries through to the massive AP Racing brake calipers, the 6-piston calipers and 362mm rotors up front, and 4-piston calipers and 310mm rotors at the rear are V8 supercar items, custom made to fit. With the majority of the inspiration for the car coming from the hot rod culture, 19-inch billet wheels were the only way to roll. They fill up the guards thanks to the airbag suspension system. Check out where the tanks are.
With pastel, it wasn't really my idea at the start. It was more Eamon's from Exquisite Customs. He kept it in my head because I was going the old hot rod theme. A lot of people come up to me and say it's just a bit different than you see in a lot of high-tech cars these days.
interior takes custom to a whole new level. Not many people go to the trouble of making a custom dash in a late model car, but Sean did it and fitted it with a host of autometer gauges. The whole interior was then hand double-stitched with one of the most intricate retrims we've ever seen. Nothing escaped the exquisite customs trimmer's hands. When your car's a poster boy for the show scene, all departments have to be represented by the best gear in all categories. Alpine are one of the best around, so every component of the integrated ICE install is a quality Alpine product. From the subs to the amps and components, all controlled by a top-of-the-line Alpine model media station. There are also plenty of flush-mounted LCD monitors in the doors and sun visors. And check out the subwoofer and nitrous bottle fiberglass enclosure running through the centre of the cabin. There was never any doubt that either incarnation of Sean's car was cover material, but this time around, it's the sheer extravagance that is sure to see this Rexy take home more major amounts of silverware. During the rebuild, the bare shell was put onto the rotisserie so the undercarriage could be detailed as heavily as the rest of the car. No stone unturned. It's been fully smoothed with all holes welded and it's been fully detailed. Downlights for ground effects and even inner guards have been colour coordinated to the wild exterior.
Just recently won King of Auto Salon in Brisbane. It was really a tight competition between me and the Osmonds.
To be king, your car has to represent what judges believe is the complete package. But Sean didn't want a complete package, he wanted the ultimate package, so he took his car to ESP, the builders of the world's most powerful street WRX, Diablo.
I went the big engine in this car because last time I built it, everyone's like all show, no go. So I wanted to prove that you can make a car all show and heaps of go. So the boys at ESP Racing really helped me out there and looked after me well.
The measly 2-litre Boxer was ditched for a fully built and detailed 2.5-litre. A dual fuel rail setup was installed with bigger injectors and braided lines were used for everything. Looking for the wiring? Don't worry, it's been hidden inside the guards, which were filled and smoothed and lead to a Haltech E8 computer. The kick is provided by a Garrett GT 3582R Turbo, which is surprisingly still internally gated. The Tomei headers and 3-inch exhaust system have been heat-wrapped to help with power and protect the surrounding paintwork. It's also proof that this WRX certainly gets some boost through it. £32 to be precise, and coupled with some giggle gas, Have de Flue has seen as much as 500 kilowatts at the wheels. I'll say it again, 500 kilowatts at the wheels.
The future of the car, take to the end of these auto salons to the end of the year, and then I just want to take to Summernats, and then after that probably just cruise it around.
With all his goals being achieved and having plenty of fun along the way, Sean has built a truly unique showstopper that's a breath of fresh air in the Australian show car scene. It's an instant classic. Mainline Dynalog dynos are the world's most advanced chassis dyno. Owned and assembled right here in Australia, they set the standard for 21st century technology and accuracy. They're known as the No Fudge dyno. Mainline Dynalog is the official dyno supplier and operator for the Auto Salon National Power Championship, used for its accuracy, repeatability and consistency. With over 500 logging channels available and advanced software, compiling and analysing data is a breeze. They can also plug in to many leading aftermarket ECUs for further diagnostic and logging options. High quality deep knurled rollers along with tie-down hoops give unrivaled traction. Real world testing has seen well over 1,000 horsepower at the wheels. No fuss, no sweat. So no matter what you put into your car, Mainline will make sure you get the most out. Huntington Beach is famous for its picturesque coastline. But for us, it's famous for being the home of America's top dog, GTR. With 9-second quarters and 1,000 horsepower at the wheels, it's one of the angriest street cars in the world.
Michael Ferrara, publisher of D-Sport magazine. We're here in Huntington Beach, California, and this is my 1996 Skyline GTR. I started D-Sport magazine in 2002. Previously I worked at some other magazines and just felt that they weren't delivering what D-Sport magazine could deliver, so we started our own magazine. Basically it boils down to a bunch of badass street cars, some competition vehicles, and also some, good motorsports and tech coverage. I think it was my first Tokyo Auto Salon in either 99 or 2000. I came back and I learned a little bit about the GTR and the whole mystique surrounding it. I was driving a Mitsubishi Eclipse at the time, which was all-wheel drive 4G63, and we were making great power and we were blowing up plenty of transmissions left and right. And so I was kind of looking for a replacement that would have a transmission, a driveline that would be able to hold up some big power numbers. And that's when I thought about doing the GTR, and we picked up the GTR in 2001 and registered it. It was the first GTR registered in the United States, and since then just been building it up a little at a time.
With a reputation to uphold, the D-Sport GTR had to be fast, powerful and angry. And this R33 V-Spec certainly is.
When we originally started with the GTR, we kind of took it from a standpoint of, well, if somebody bought this car, how would they build it up? And the first thing we did is say, okay, let's not touch the engine, let's not touch the turbos, let's max out the power at that stage. We built it up, did that first. Then of course, we put big turbos on there with the stock engine. We got up to about 800 horsepower at the wheels with the stock engine. After an oil pump failure at that level, we ended up building the 2.8 liter stroker engine. And from that point it was, hey, can we make 1,000 horsepower? And we just got over making that. We made 1,031 the last time we were out at the dyno. We can probably get up to maybe about 1150. And now the goal is to see if we can run an 8-second time in it.
The RB26 is strong from factory, but mega power required a mega tough engine build. The N1 block is filled with forged internals, including an HKS stroker crank that brings capacity out to 2.7 litres. The heavily ported head is filled with oversized valves, Apexi springs and retainers and monster camshafts. This means the engine can make the most of the Apexi RX6 turbochargers that sit on Apexi manifolds with Apexi wastegates. They dump into a Kakamoto exhaust system and blow through a truss drag intercooler into a Hypertune 100mm throttle body in plenum. 1600cc Bosch injectors quench the GTR's thirst and sit inside a Greddy dual-entry fuel rail. With nearly 35 psi of boost, the ignition system needed to be upgraded. So split-fire coil packs and an HKS twin-power spark amplifier were installed and are controlled by the Apexi Power FC D-Jetro.
When we were making 860 horsepower, we took the car out. That was the last time we had it at the drag strip, and it ran a 997 at, I believe, about 148 miles an hour. And since then, we're now at 1,031 horsepower, and we're hoping that's going to be enough horsepower with some suspension tuning to get it down into the 8s or low 9s. I heard in the States right now there is one GTR that I believe ran 960s. I'm not sure if that was on street tires or slicks. I'm pretty confident we'll be able to beat that number. Horsepower-wise, there may be one or two others that have made over 1,000, but that's about it in the country right now.
With some fine tuning, the GTR was able to crack the magic 1,000 horsepower mark. So what does a GTR with 800 horsepower at the treads and street trim drive like?
Driving a 1,000 horsepower GTR isn't as fun as it sounds. Probably a 600 or 500 horsepower GTR is going to be a lot more quote unquote fun to drive. To really experience a 1,000 horsepower GTR, you're talking about bringing it up on the two-step, building up that boost, launching really hard and just beating on it gear through gear. And to just drive around and try to have fun and stuff like that, it's not too fun. There's lots of turbo lag and stuff like that. But if you want to bring it to the drag strip and put it up on a two-step, there's no feeling like it.
Those super fast gear changes come courtesy of the Hollinger 6-speed sequential transmission, which houses an Exidy triple plate clutch. A carbon fibre tailshaft transfers the power to the standard V-spec diff. And a Cusco front LSD was installed for more traction. Helping put the power to the ground are Valeside spec coilovers and a host of Nagisa auto-adjustable suspension arms. The biggest traction aids are the BF Goodrich drag radials, which wrap around the 18-inch Volk TE37s. Inside the Volks are standard Brembo brakes, aided by DBA 5000 series rotors and EBC pads.
When you drive a GTR in the States, you're going to get one of two reactions. Half the people are going to know what it is, and the other half are just freaked out because you're driving on the wrong side or the right side of the car. And it's funny, most of the kids out there seem to know the car better than the parents, and they'll be yelling at their mom or dad saying, hey, look, that's a GTR, just like in Gran Turismo, and they get all freaked out about it and stuff like that. Even though the car, basically doesn't have any wild body tuning or anything like that, pretty mundane, it's still a head turner.
The GTR looks tough from factory, so the N1 bumper and Nismo carbon spoiler are the only exterior additions. The interior is purely functional. Sparco seats keep the occupants in place, and the wheeled-in 8-point roll cage keeps them safe. Apexi gauges, a Nismo dash and Gizmo electronics let the driver know what's going on under the hood. With so many goals already achieved, where does the future lie for this RH9 member?
The GTR was always one of those cars you would never believe when you heard the stories about 2.6 and 2.8 liter engines putting out 1,000 horsepower. But now that we've done it, I could say it's truly an impressive engine. The RB engine is just really incredible, and the car as a whole, having the all-wheel drive, having the RB engine, and the handling, it's really hard to beat.
Toyo tyres are a leader in the sports compact car industry. They pride themselves on performance, quality and value. They have a tyre range to suit all car enthusiasts. Toyo are big supporters of the sports compact car scene in Australia. They're the naming rights sponsor of the Sports Compact Drag Racing Series and the Drift Australia Championship Series. Team Toyo was created to help support some of Australia's top race teams and drivers, including Adam Truella and the Slide Effects Drift Team, Corporal Christian Pickering in the CTS 180SX, GT Auto Sound's Mental R34, Denzo the Great, Danny Verhumus from JMS, Australia's only pro-female drifter, Drift Cat, Danny Keneally from ADD Racing, and James Verhumus at D1 Garage. For more information on the Toyo range and dealer locations, head to toyo.com.au.
The Lexmark Indy 300 is one of the biggest automotive events in Australia, and it's also one of the best places to party.
That's right. In this first Indy feature, we take you behind the scenes to show you the real Indy.
Then we get to check out another character from the drifting scene who was actually one of the demo drivers at Indy.
Somehow Eugene Aronson has managed to become the Kazakhstani drifter. I think it was from one too many Borat impersonations and the fact that when he wears a green mankini, he's a dead ringer.
I don't want to know. Let's just watch the features.
Blue skies, beautiful beaches and high-rise hotels with the sound of champ cars in the background can mean only one thing. We're at the Lexmark Indy 300 on the Gold Coast. It's the biggest party of the year for people that are into cars, so let's get to it.
The Lexmark Indy 300 is one of the biggest motorsport events in Australia.
Well, the other night we managed to get ourselves into the Bartercard Miss Indy Grand Final for the first time, and look at what we've got today. Champ Car pit passes. It's the first time Ignition's been allowed in, so let's get into pit lane, see what Champ Car's all about. Well, the two Team Australia cars just poured into the pits. They're doing suspension adjustments before they go back out on track for another practice session. There's nothing like a bit of Aussie pride, as there are plenty of supporters getting behind the Team Australia guys.
The Champ cars are the main event, but the V8 supercars and the Carrera Cup Porsches add even more motorsport mayhem. The racing is all well and good, but that's not what Ignition came for. We came for the partying and the drifting. Indy has an almost street carnival atmosphere, and everyone is there to have a good time. With all the right ingredients, it's almost impossible not to get into the spirit of things.
Tell you what, man, if you want to party at Indy, there's only one way to do it, and that's with an apartment. Nothing can top that view of the beautiful beaches of the Gold Coast with Champ cars flying past. Well, I've been told that partying at Indy, to do it right, you've got to have an apartment. So our mate Tony invited us up right here in the middle of the track for the best view in the house. Man, this view is awesome. Just having an apartment, does it just set Indy off? Does it change everything?
Oh, most definitely. Drink and drive and just being in the track. It is a hassle, obviously, getting in if you weren't a resident, but being a resident, it certainly does help. And I don't know, you can stay out till 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, it does go that long, so
There's no sleep-ins, is there?
No, totally not. So
8 o'clock, crack of dawn, drifters are waking you up, right?
Yeah, as soon as that 8 o'clock bell rings, the first rev of the car, and you honestly can't stay asleep.
Experiencing Indy from an apartment has its advantages, and it definitely has a good view. Of the racing, of course. The Lexmark Indy 300 isn't all about the cars. There's plenty of entertainment for fans both on and off the track. Check out our separate features on the Miss Indy competition and on the wild on-track drifting demos. The Australian military is a big part of the Indy phenomenon. A chance to showcase the skills of our servicemen and their craft. The Air Force Roulettes put on one hell of a show. The F111 demonstrations are always a crowd favourite, especially the dump and burn at the end. The Army had helicopters buzzing the crowd all weekend, including their new Tiger Attack helicopter. They also had some of their equipment fanging around the track during the on-track entertainment. In the centre of it was also the burnout cars and the Kappa stunt team on cars and bikes.
I've been checking out the drifting and all the on-track entertainment, but man, for the partying here at Indy, I'm going to hand over to my mate Philippe. You've all seen him before. He's a local boy and he knows exactly what happens here at Indy.
Oh yeah, I'm here at the moment on Party Hill. It's going off Indy 2007. It's amazing. Let's go and check out the crowd. Come with me. Oh yeah. Girls, Welcome to Indy 2007. How you liking it? Can you all go Indy? Yeah, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, thank you, boy. I've just found an old school favourite, Elvis Presley. So come on through, let's check out Elvis, mate. He's fully sick. How are you enjoying Indy?
Oh, good.
Yeah, what are you here for? The chicks, the cars, the nightlife, the fun?
Just to watch the races.
The race, are you having fun? Well, you look good, mate. Take it easy. Okay, I've stumbled across the crowd and to this beautiful girl that won Babe of the Year at Raceline events. This is Erin. Erin, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Are you enjoying Indy 2007?
I am. I love Indy.
G'day, mate. She's beautiful. You can't miss her in the crowd. She's absolutely amazing. How are ya? Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Hello.
Are you having fun in Indy?
Yes.
Are you here for the drifting, the racing, or the cars?
We are the racers.
You are the racers. You look like the drinkers to me. You look like an Arabian belly dancer.
No.
Can you show me what you do? Very scary.
Indy is certainly a weekend to remember. For more information on the Lexmark Indy 300 and Indy associated events, head to indy.com.au and racelinepromotions.com.
Australia's best-known airbrushing specialist, Advanced Airbrush, are forging new ground in the world of custom finishes. Multi-award-winning airbrush guru Wayne Harrison has expanded his operation to include a new showroom and spray booth facility, so you can now get the full custom pearl, flake and chameleon paint jobs as well as graphics and murals. Advanced Airbrush has also introduced a series of airbrushing courses in New South Wales, Queensland and Western Australia. Now, along with world-class airbrushing, Advanced Airbrush can also supply you with all the materials you need to perform your own airbrushing works of art, such as Iwata airbrushing products, House of Colour kits, and custom stencils, along with the skills and techniques required to airbrush to a professional standard. For more on Advanced Airbrush, hit the website at airbrush.com.au.
Hello, my name is Eugene. I like you. I'm number 4 drifter in all Kazakhstan. I drive 180. It is nice. High five.
We all know that most drifters have a nickname or personality that helps make them unique. How they get these names is another topic altogether. In the case of Eugene Aronson, Kazakhstani drift began after one too many Borat impersonations. And wearing a green mankini, well, that's another topic again.
Hey guys, all out there in DVD land. My name's Huge, and this is my Kazakhstan 180. Basically, the whole Borat theme sort of came around after one particular DA after party, and I started to rattle off some sayings and stuff like that. Hello, my name's Eugene. This is just like my car in Kazakhstan. It's just like the one I learned to drift. It's very nice. I learned by hitting gypsies. Sometimes they move. Naughty, naughty.
Just like the man himself, Eugene's 180SX is lean and mean.
The first year I built it, I didn't have a lot of power, and all I could think about was if the car was light, you don't have to have that massive power to offset it. And then you also, with the less power, you get a whole lot of reliability. That's half the reason for trying to keep it as light as possible. But keeping it light also makes it fast and nimble, and you can change directions really fast and quick. I like the way it handles, and that's sort of how I'm trying to keep it.
Eugene stripped the 180SX to within an inch of its life and fitted it with a full roll cage. The doors have been gutted, a carbon dash and Kevlar bride seat were added, and the car was totally rewired to reduce weight further. Alloy windows, a gutted bonnet and a fiberglass B&N Sports wide body kit help the 180SX tip the scales at a lean 1,000 kilos. The mean comes courtesy of a full Tomei forged engine with a GCG 3037 specially built turbo strapped to the side. The Teal wastegate vents to atmosphere and boost blows through a Sabre intercooler into the Greddy plenum. The side pipe makes the car loud. Very loud. SART injectors and reg, Greddy radiator and a big oil cooler in the ducted front end support the 300 kilowatt at the wheels SR20. Sabre gauges along with the Apexi Power FC hand controller show the engine vitals. Transferring that power isn't some fancy gearbox, but a beefy Tremac T56 out of a V8 Commodore, which feeds the Nismo two-way diff. A 5-stud conversion holds S14 brakes front and rear, and there is also a hydraulic handbrake. Koya DriftTech rims put the power to the pavement and fuel the smoke show.
Well, I don't know if being known as the Kazakhstan drifter is a good thing or a bad thing. I feel like I should be towing it with a goat or something. Yes, I am wearing a mankini under this suit. And yeah, it's real uncomfortable.
Helping control the drift thoroughbred is a set of Racing Logic coilovers along with a host of Tune Agent suspension arms, tie rods and tie rod ends.
I'll be definitely keeping this car. It performs really well when I'm driving all right. Yeah, we've got actually a lot of big plans for this car now. Full new kit. We're actually doing a Kevlar, a carbon fibre route. Yeah, we're definitely going to do Drift Australia next year. Trying to do everything as properly as we can. Hello, little girls. You like my sisters, yeah? It's very nice. You like?
Meet Clay, an 18-year-old modified car enthusiast who has just received his license and the keys to a Lancer. He is about to purchase his first mod.
Yeah, mate, you can't go wrong with Wayland blowers.
Do you see what's happening here? Clay has no idea what he's doing. Before you buy that blow-off valve for your naturally aspirated vehicle, log on to motoractive.com.au and do your research from the start. Save time, money, and above all, heartbreak. Just ask any true modifier.
Indy looked like a lot of fun.
Wild weekend, but it's not all. We got to see the finals of the Bartercard Miss Indy competition.
But before we check out those lovely ladies, we've got a feature on the Victorian round of the Dutton Rally.
The fourth round and final round of the Alfera Dutton Rally took place in Victoria and was a fitting finish to a year that had seen some extreme action in the series. At Ignition, our resident Dutton contender, Project STI, was out of the action. We couldn't miss the final round, so our sales rep Nick pulled some strings and got us a steer of an Evo 9. As demonic as the Evo is out of the box, it just wouldn't be fit for Ignition unless we added some aftermarket hardware. To give our Evo some bark to match its bite, a quality 3-inch X-Force muffler was fitted by Auto Excess in Nunawading. We spoke to our friends at Exity to get the best advice and came away with a heavy-duty clutch from the Sports Tough range. The Power Chip Group were keen to get a look at the Lancer's ECU to see where they could improve it for us. We headed down to RE Customs, where the proprietor, Ray, did an amazing job, performing the difficult and time-consuming task of clutch replacement in the Evo. He also performed the usual expert dyno tuning magic with our Power Chip. Now that our ride was a bit more competitive, we took a look around at the competition. The Dutton experience is for everyone, with the field as varied as the events themselves.
3, 2, 1, go!
From exotics to production cars and everything in between, purpose-built or weekend warrior, every category and every class of vehicle is represented. As morning dawned on the third day of competition, the leaderboard became solidified, but still highly contested. Under 4 categories: circuit, Motorcana, auto test, and top speed, encompassing over 35 events, it's always riveting to see which cars excel. There's even a special stage where the locals of Shepparton are invited to come down and check out the action firsthand. Back to business, and you couldn't ask for a more motley crew to take honours. With less than 150 points separating the majority of the top 10, the competition was ice cold. Third outright belonged to Greg Keane and his Porsche GT2. Outright second in the latest Evo incarnation was multiple Dutton winner Peter Gazzard. Andrew Richmond took top honours outright, piloting an R34 Skyline GTR. In case you were wondering, Nick and our Evo 9, piloted by Rowan Brennan, finished in 46th place, an admirable standing considering the quality of the competition. The Dutton Rally is the ultimate experience an enthusiast can have. A safe, competitive environment where you can push yourself and your car to the limits. 2008 is shaping up to be a big year for the rally, with organisers hinting that it's going to be the most exciting to date. Make sure it's on your to-do list for the next year. To be a part of the 2008 series, visit the Dutton Rally website for more information. It doesn't matter what car you drive or how fast it is, it's all about fun and the spirit of the series, camaraderie.
Enjoying a long-standing reputation for quality work and professional service, Platinum Car Audio and Interiors experienced staff consistently produce some of Australia's most highly awarded show cars. Platinum can turn daily drivers into complete showstoppers, and they carry all the leading brands. Platinum Car Audio and Interiors are the ultimate choice, whether you're after a simple head unit upgrade or a complete interior retrim and custom audio fit-out. With packages to suit any budget, including leather retrims from as little as $2,200 or complete audio upgrade packages from only $1,000. To find out more, visit platinumcai.com.au.
The Bartercard Miss Indy is one of the largest model searches held annually in Australia. Hundreds of girls from all over the country enter the heats, But only 40 finalists make it to the Lexmark Indy 300 to compete in the finals. At the final gala dinner, the winner is announced.
It's our third year here at the Lexmark Indy 300 with Ignition, and this is the first time we've managed to get ourselves inside the Bartercard Miss Indy Grand Final. Let's follow this red carpet and get inside.
It's a massive night and certainly is a gala affair. On stage, there were plenty of performances to keep people entertained.
They say on the Gold Coast, if you want to party hard, you need to either bring a monkey or a clown.
Yeah, I'm here for my girlfriend, Jerusha. Hope she wins. Love you, baby.
The main part and most important part of the judging is the swimsuit section. The girls are progressively narrowed down over the night. At the end of the night, Gold Coast local Kate Hockley was crowned 2007 Bartercard Miss Indy. She was swarmed by the media, and she'll later be representing Australia in the International Face of Champ Car competition. For information on Bartercard Miss Indy, head to faceofchampcar.com.
3, 2, 1, go.
By signing up to the Hot Fours newsletter, you'll be ahead of the pack when it comes to the latest news, event info, what's on the forums, and a sneak preview of what's in the next issue. It's easy to sign up. Just head to www.hotfours.com and follow the links to the newsletter page. There you can tell us a little more about yourself, and when you hit the submit button, you've instantly put yourself in the running to win great prizes each and every month. Go on. What are you waiting for?
Go.
So apparently the next Indy feature is your favourite.
Haha, definitely. The drifting demos at Indy were absolutely off the scale. I can't explain to you in words just how good they were. You're just going to have to watch.
So you actually think this is the best drifting footage you've ever seen?
Without a doubt. And after that, we check out Alex's pimped out Bachelor MX-5. There's plenty of entertainment at Indy, but nothing gets the crowd going like the Raceline Promotions on-track drifting demos. Every year, the drifting demos at Indy get wilder and wilder. This year, they stepped it up a level and gave us some of the best drifting footage we've ever seen. Team Peer Captain, Drift Veteran, and all-around funny guy Darren Afro Appleton organised the field of drifters.
Hi, I'm Darren Appleton. My favourite thing about Indy is running my car against concrete walls. I think we've done 4, maybe 5 Indies now, but the best thing about this one is every year that we do it, we get better and better, and the skill level's right up there.
Let's follow Darren on a lap of the Indy track to see what it's like. joined by his peer teammate, Leighton Fine.
How's it going, guys? I'm Leighton Fine. Favourite thing about Indy? Street drifting with a cop in the car. This is my second Indy, and honestly this one's been a lot more fun than the last one. I've had a hell of a lot more track time, and I've hit the wall twice. It's good value. Like, the crowds at Indy are great. It's probably one of the only places you can go in Australia where you go in full bore and you can hear the crowd noise over the car noise. It's a great experience.
Josh Young and Eugene Aronson from the Sabre Nankang team were also there. Eugene took us on one of the maddest drift laps ever. His fourth gear mungies down the straights was simply insane. The triangle was a crowd favourite as the drivers got very close together and extremely close to the wall. Almost every driver tagged it at some stage, but wore the battle scars with pride.
That's what's meant to be done.
Here we've got a bit of Indy Carnival. They repaint the walls several times when they put them back in position, so it's like a little bit of a rainbow effect here. This one here was from our grass triangle that we do, and I seem to be able to touch the wall each time. We've bashed it out, we've hit it, we've bashed it out, we've hit it. But yeah, I think that's quite special. It's a little floppy.
Team Green were also tearing it up. John Drifter Kane in the Laurel and Andy in the Nissan Zafiro.
Hi, my name's John Drifter Kane. Favourite part about the Indy track is coming onto the main straight off the big turn. Just going there, top of third gear and looking at the crowd standing up and cheering. Can't beat that.
Camo from Cameron's Bodyworks in the Mental R32 Skyline rounded out the field. The on-track demos help bring drifting to the mainstream and are a crowd favourite at the Lexmark Indy 300. Raceline Promotions are doing their bit to help grow the sport of drifting. For more information on Raceline drifting events, check out racelinepromotions.com.
Since the early 90s, Australian-owned company EMS has been providing tuners, enthusiasts and modifiers with seamless solutions for aftermarket engine management needs. EMS designs and manufactures their ECUs right here in Australia. All ECUs are individually tested before being distributed to markets in Australia, Japan, Europe, the United States and many other countries. EMS's ECUs are used in all forms of motorsport for their many features, high performance and reliability. There's an EMS solution for every application, offering max power, optimum performance and ECU reliability for your ride. There's also authorised dealers in every state that offer full tuning, support and upgrades for any EMS products. For more information on EMS systems and other quality EMS products, including the AIM Digital Dash range and data loggers, visit fuelinjection.com. One of the most significant sports cars of the 90s was the Mazda MX-5, an abundance of character and exceptional refinement from the factory. Described as many things by many people, but in this interpretation of the ultimate roadster, sex spec is one thing, but two words that come to mind with this MX-5: pure porn. Sadly lacking some real grunt and sex appeal out of the box, Alex's mission was clear.
Pretty much had it for about 3 years or so. I bought it stock standard from a real estate agent. Originally it was just going to be like, you know, rims, springs and like, pretty much that was it. Like, I mean, I put a blue stripe down it and I was going to leave it as is. Started to cruise around with some of the guys from Team Dream back in the day, and it just kind of becomes addictive.
To destroy any preconceived notions that an MX-5 is a girl's car. The guards have been pumped and flared to monstrous proportions. It completely transforms the stance from elegant to aggressive. A vivid tribal airbrush design with flames overlays the custom House of Colour fade paint. Matching painted inserts sit on the 18-inch Mazda chrome rims. The Garage Vary front bar and Mazda Speed sides and rear add a little bit of Jap flavour to the build. When it comes to the interior, the old adage more is less doesn't quite ring true. Every surface and trim has been overhauled with off-white leather and leopard skin print vinyl. It's plush, decadent, and just the right amount of wild. Customization is in excess, with LCD monitors in the floor, doors, seats, roof cover, and even the steering wheel.
So many TVs because I can. Like, I mean, no one's gone that far, that extreme with it. I mean, like, you've always got the TVs in the doors and everything. No one's put them like actually in the seats. I mean, molded into the actual bodywork of the car. It was just something different. Yeah, it was to win trophies, but at the same time, the whole car was about being unique, and I think it pretty much has turned out that way.
The boot enclosure hasn't escaped Alex's LCD addiction with a massive 15-inch TV flanked by 5 more. Vision covered, the mastermind for the awesome audio setup is a Clarion head unit with a 7-inch screen. A massive 4-channel Rockford Fosgate amp provides the power for the 12-inch sub, front and rear component speakers. In a spare no-expense interior, the little touches set it apart, including chroming of all the interior plastics and updated seats and door trims from the 2000 model. Under the hood, a 1.8 has been coupled with the responsive Garrett T28 ball-bearing turbo. Big power was not the goal, just better drivability. At only 12 pound of boost, the breathing mods are the key. A K&N pod sucks it to the custom polished front mount and pushes on through the Aveo Plenum, Turbo Smart BOV and out to the 2.5-inch X-Force exhaust. The fuel supply had to be beefed up to keep the engine running in harmony, so 500cc SARD injectors and a Bosch 040 fuel pump are in place. The standard gearbox and diff are up to the challenge, but the clutch was upgraded to an Exidy heavy-duty item. When turbo conversions are performed, management is the key, and the best was used, with a Haltech E8 ECU responsible for a punchy 144 rear wheel kilowatts.
How does it drive? Yeah, no, beautifully. Originally, the workshop that did do the turbo conversion made an absolute mess of it. So I took it down to DRC, and I mean, they fixed it all up. Cold start, beautiful, drives great, and I love it when it comes up on boost. I mean, it's like a nice little street machine.
Rolling in style and built for the chicks, when the Bachelor MX-5 is cruising the streets of Sydney, mothers, you better lock up your daughters.
When you hit the web, www.hot4s.com is the place to be. Sit down, log in, and hang on, because the Hot 4s website is full on. Where else can you read your favourite articles, watch awesome videos, download top quality images, and hang out with a ton of like-minded car fanatics? There's info about upcoming events, the latest news, regularly updated feature cars and girls, a forum packed full of info, and our latest edition, Respect, a place where your ride gets featured for everyone to see. You can also subscribe to the magazine or sign up to receive the Hot 4s newsletter, which puts you in the running to win awesome prizes. The Hot 4s website is like a 20B turbo drag car. If you look away, you'll miss out.
Okay, I'm gonna have to hand it to you. That was pretty good drifting footage.
Told ya. Best drifting footage ever.
Yeah, it was good.
We've got some more awesome drifting footage coming up with a feature on Leighton Fine. And we've already featured the other two Team Peer members, Afro Appleton and Bo the Show Yates. But now, it's Crabman's turn.
Crabman? What's with all the drifters and their nicknames?
When you learn to drift, you'll get a nickname as well.
Then we've got a feature on the MRT at Track Day at Wakefield.
Young gun, rising star, or prodigy? When it comes to the rise of Leighton the Crabman Fine, it's all of the above. The exception that proves the rule in this case, it's not about money or having the baddest car on the circuit. It's about drive, desire, and passion.
Hi, my name's Leighton, 22 from Adelaide, and I drive the Team Peer 1V. I got into drifting straight out of school. A couple of mates of mine were into it, just sort of tagged along with them.
The road to DA for Leighton has been a short but winding one.
The Sprinter that everyone knows so well is actually my first car. Took it off the road for about 9 months to do an engine conversion and then got into the serious sort of drifting. The first comp I ever entered, I went across to Victoria for. It was Kamikaze Battle in late 2004. I think I placed about 35th or something. I learned a lot out of it, but I sucked pretty bad.
After accepting a DA wildcard invitation at Malala, Leighton stole the show and took out first place.
I figured it was a good chance to go and compete against the best in Australia. And it was at the home track in Malala, which also gave me a fairly good sort of stepping stone. I don't think I was necessarily the best driver there, but I had a good series of runs and just a bit of luck on my side and managed to win it. It was just an amazing sort of thing for someone to just come in and do. It was fairly unheard of.
In the final round of the Toyo Drift Australia Series in 2006, Leighton's Hutchie had had enough, and the terminal engine failure put him out of contention for the series. But along came Darren Afro Appleton, who lent Leighton his backup car, the Nissan 1Via, affectionately known as Driffy.
He actually offered me to loan me it for the rest of the competition, which again, the way the point system works in Drift Australia is if you're not out there for a round, it really hurts you. And then we went up to Indy at the end of the year, and at Indy it was just one of the best weeks I can remember.
The foundation of Team Peer as we know it had been laid. As Leighton became familiar with the 1Via, the podium finishes soon followed. In 2007, Leighton has travelled with Darren around Australia to put on drift demos at places such as Bathurst, Sandown, and of course, the Lexmark Indy 300.
It's actually quite a good feeling going out against some very big money, big powered sort of cars and still keeping in touch with them in such a fairly standard car.
The 1Via itself is by no stretch standard, but it isn't too far from it. A Monkey Warehouse body kit and a set of Koya drift techs along with the Team Peer graphics give it the pro drift look. Under the hood is just a simple combo to provide responsive usable power. Feeding the stock SR20 DET is an HKS GTRS turbo. A KKR intercooler, bigger injectors and fuel pump, 3-inch exhaust and an Apexi Power FC give Driffy just over 200 kilowatts at the wheels. A Nismo clutch and 2-way Pro LSD make sure the power hits the pavement. The suspension is purely what's needed for drift. HSD coilovers along with adjustable caster, camber and tow arms, along with drift pineapples and R32 tie rods for increased lock.
While it's a fairly basic car, it works remarkably well for what it is. Darren obviously proved that in 2005 winning the series. I'm trying to bring what I think is the most out of the car as well.
Step inside and you won't find any advanced roll cages or electronic trickery, just what's needed. A bride's seat and harness hold Leighton in place, and a Nardi steering wheel and Nismo gear knob receive Leighton's inputs. On paper, with 200 rear-wheel kilowatts, this car really is one tough streeter. but in the capable hands of Leighton, becomes a DA contender. Leighton has stood on the podium on multiple occasions in 2006 and 2007. He finished third in 2006 and in the top 7 in 2007. He's proved why he's considered one of the best in Australia.
We all really enjoy each other's company. It's a productive sort of atmosphere we've got in the team. I really enjoy doing the demos. I really enjoy driving in Drift Australia. It's a dream come true.
With a quick rise to success and plenty of trophies in the cabinet, Leighton wants to concentrate on one thing in the drift world: having fun and putting on a good show.
I'm always fairly big on the attitude of go out, do your best and have fun, and if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it's not, it's not.
HSD Suspension brings you the leading edge in coilover technology at prices to suit your budget. HSD has been proven in competition by many top-level Australian drifters. 3 levels of performance are offered to suit every application. The HS series is best for the street, with rubber bush top mounts providing quiet operation, 15-step damper adjustment, and a wide range of height adjustment. HR adds larger diameter dampers for more control and pillow ball top mounts for razor sharp response, with easy camber adjustment ideally suited for drift and circuit applications. For the serious circuit racer, we have the Premium HT series, using a full aluminium casing for lightweight and remote reservoirs for separate bump and rebound damper adjustment. HSD coilovers are backed by an unlimited kilometre 12-month warranty and full after-sales support from Otomoto. Check out the Otomoto website to see what HSD can do for your ride.
To see the latest updates to Project STI and Project 200, check out Tech Talk and Ignition X.
Here at Ignition, we love all forms of motorsport. Anything that punishes the red line and gets the tyres squealing. It's the 3rd instalment of the MRT track days down at Wakefield for the year. And although MRT specialise in WRX, STI and Evo clientele, the field was as diverse as the track itself.
My name's Theo Regas, own a 928 GTS, which was the last Porsche V8 built. The car's got 257 kilowatts, factory standard as you see it. And yeah, just out here today to give it a bit of a run and get a bit of practice time on the track.
The emphasis is not only on pushing your car to the limits and learning, but also staying safe and responsible. The formula for a great track day with MRT is simple. Show up, listen up, buckle up and drive. A briefing of the circuit from the guys at MRT ensures that drivers get the very best out of the day. This gives newcomers and veterans alike a more in-depth understanding of the terrain. As the day progressed and novices and experts alike started laying down some great times, the heavens opened and the track was awash with a very steady rain. Again. While the all-wheel drive Warriors continued to carve it up, some of the other vehicles had a hard time keeping it on the track. While the emphasis is on driving, the days are very social, bringing out all the different types of drivers, spectators and event staff.
Been given a nice MR8 Evolution to drive for my birthday by my best friend Aaron, imported from Japan only 3 months ago. A good thing about the Evolutions are that they have 3 settings of control. We found out this afternoon that sticking it on gravel setting in the full-blown wet is amazing. We started off on tarmac and it was just slippery. More fun though. To do with traction, gravel was the best one we had.
With track days becoming more and more popular, MRT offer the best environment to get the most out of your machine. Head down to MRT or visit the website for the latest info.
Want to pimp your ride? Then visit Australia's original masters of pimp, Aussie Tyres. We have Australia's best selection of luxury and race wheels. For more information and store locations, check out aussietyres.com.au or ring 1300 699 699.
Yo, what up, man? It's your boy Big Dane. For the best rims and tires in Australia, make sure you see Aussie Tyres.
Our last Indy feature is the Power Blitz Car Show, which is part of the off-track entertainment at Indy.
That event was cool. The Broadwater car park has been a hangout for car enthusiasts for years, and it finally got turned into a drift event for the night.
You know, we haven't even finished doing all the features on America yet, and apparently you're going to Japan tomorrow. That's so unfair.
Tomorrow. My bags are already packed. Now, the guys from High Octane Racing have invited us to travel to Japan with them as they're entering Mark Berry and Russell Newman's R32 GTR in an international time attack event at Scuba Circuit, the home of time attack.
I remember that car from Edition 22, which
right.
won the Dutton Rally. That was a weapon.
Well, the car's now been totally rebuilt to be even faster, and the guys from High Octane Racing are taking it to Japan to compete with the world's best. Now, we've got a feature on the development and testing of the car before we head to Japan to give you a full report on how the car goes. Enjoy. Gold Coast is known for its nightlife and its beaches, and tonight drifting has taken over both of them, with a stadium drift round being held here at the Broadwater car park as part of the Lexmark Indy 300 off-track entertainment. Each year, as part of the Lexmark Indy 300, Raceline Promotions holds the Power Blitz car show at the Broadwater car park. The event is free and gives something back to the community. The show has a carnival atmosphere and combines a static car show with driving and motorbike entertainment. The track was tight and technical, and a big bump and puddle of water on the last corner made for some dramatic action. All the top names were there and keen to put on a good show. Leighton Fine was in town for Indy drift demos, so decided to enter along with teammate Darren Appleton. Tony Harrison was back in his VN Commodore and was a crowd favourite. The Sabre Nankang team of Josh Young and Eugene Aronson were in top form and picked early as favourites. Gibbsy is a stadium drift master, but a blown turbo ruined his chances of taking out another podium finish. The level of drifting and the quality of the cars at this event was excellent. The guys certainly turned it on for the massive crowd. The open pits allowed the huge crowd to have a look over all of the cars during the breaks.
Tony Harrison, we're down at the Broadwater, mate. What do you think of this shindig?
Oh, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's great for publicity. I think it's great for everything.
Hey, the crowd like the V8, Tony, don't they?
Yeah, mate, they do. They do. True Aussies love them anyway.
Right, we're here with Trent White, the owner of Mercury Motorsport. Mate, is it a fun track or not?
Yeah, it gets plenty of smoke, so it's all good for the crowd.
Mate, the crowd's loving it. There's a big crowd here. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
The halftime break saw the Drift Monkey come out along with the stunt bikes to put on a show. The quality field made it tough for the judges, but it was narrowed down to Darren Appleton and Leighton Fine from Team Pier, along with Eugene Aronson in the 180SX and Tim Ottaway in the 1JZ powered Celica. In the end, Team Pier took the 1-2 with Leighton Fine in first place. It was only natural they put on a celebration show. Now that's as close as it gets. The Power Blitz event took the Stadium Drift events to a new level and helped bring drifting to the general public. To keep up to date with Raceline events and the Stadium Drift series, check out racelinepromotions.com.
3, 2, 1, go.
Right now, when you purchase a 10-issue subscription to Hot Fours magazine for only $89.50, you'll also receive a 5-issue subscription to High Performance Imports worth $49.75 absolutely free. To take up this great deal, or to check out our other special subscription offers, including further discounts and awesome free gifts, log in and head to www.hotfours.com.
3, 2, 1, go.
Mark Berry and Russell Newman's R32 GTR has been cleaning up in Australia over the last couple of years, winning Dutton rallies and various time attack and street sprint events all over the country. As we saw in Edition 22, the car is a lesson in setup, as it isn't the most modified GTR around or the most powerful, but it certainly produces results with low 10-second quarters and 104s around Wakefield on the same setup. Having conquered Australia, Mark and Russell, along with their sponsor High Octane Racing, had their sights on something bigger. Time Attack originated in Japan, and Tsukuba Circuit is considered its home. Tuning shops in Japan build cars specifically to conquer Scuba Circuit, and the current record is held by an HKS CT230R Lancer, which has dipped into the 53-second zone. To give you an idea of how fast that is, a Nismo R34 GTR Z-Tune does a 101 around Scuba. Basically, anything that goes under the 1-minute barrier is very quick. Well, the guys from High Octane Racing decided it was time we show what the Aussies can do and set the plan in motion.
The aim at Scuba is probably top 10 really, which is where we want to try and be. I'm hoping to be in the 56s. I won't be very happy if we're in the 57s. The Mines car will be very nice to beat. It's a really well-known car worldwide, but as a race car, they're probably the gold Saurus Garage R32. That'll be a set of some pretty fast times over there. It's pretty hard to compare with Australia. Our track temperatures, like here today, we'll see 50-degree track temperatures today, and over there it'll be 10. The corners at Tsukuba are cambered. All our racetracks in Australia are flat, so the way that the car will handle and suspension setups over there will be quite a bit different.
Mark and Russell could have gone all out with the car, but decided to keep it within regulations of Dutton Rally so they could continue to compete once the car returns to Australia.
We could have tried to pull more weight out of the car, but really this car, when it comes back from Japan, it's still going to be a Dutton car, and we'll still do some tarmac rallies and use it for what we use it currently. And we probably took about 150 kilos out of the car. We took about 60 kilos out just indoors. The cars we're racing in Japan are really lightweight, perspex everything, and whatever bolts on's carbon fibre. Really this event in Japan is really only once off for this car. The R34 that we're building will be the car that'll do all the time attack events.
The first thing to do was lighten the car, so carbon doors and boot lid were fitted and more of the interior was removed. Lexan side windows also help reduce weight. A more intricate chrome molly cage was also installed. To spice up the exterior, some new graphics were applied. And a set of 18-inch Volk TE37s allow wider rubber to be fitted. The AP Racing brakes remain the same. Underneath, all of the adjustable suspension arms are the same, but the boys fitted a set of top-level Öhlins coilovers.
The suspension we ordered off Öhlins, and basically told them what we're doing, what the car weights are, and they custom built a suspension package for us, and they pretty much copied what was in their Japanese touring car. So it's a really good starting base for us, and obviously it's quite a bit better for circuit use for what we were used to.
Engine-wise, the car was already responsive and powerful, so the guys didn't want to mess with it too much. So further reliability was the focus of the rebuild. High Octane Racing sourced a GT500 race block and filled it with Tomei internals. A High Octane Racing dry sump setup was also installed for maximum reliability. The head has received new Tomei camshafts and valve springs, and the turbos were upgraded to larger GT 2860s.
The new turbos are 2860s. They've been modified by GCG. Not really for performance-wise, more endurance-wise. We used to run standard N1s before. N1s were nice. They fall over a little bit about 7,000 revs, and these things sort of continue and carry on a bit past that.
High Octane Racing also fitted a new Hypertune 6-throttle enlarged plenum, and TurboSmart provided a raceport blow-off valve. A side pipe replaces the full exhaust system, and a new PWR radiator with a built-in oil cooler was fitted. The guys at C&J Motorsport are responsible for tuning the car and have done an awesome job. Even on a hot day, the car consistently ran over 400 kilowatts at all four wheels, with a maximum of 427 kilowatts. That's massive power for a car that's used for motorcarnas, street sprints, circuit and time attack. The perfect all-rounder. With the car all sorted, it was time to hit the track for some testing.
Just out here to test the engine and suspension, run a bit low boost and trying to make sure everything's settled before we go wringing its neck too much.
Even with high track temperatures, it was obvious just how fast the car was, overtaking everything on the track.
Yeah, we'll try and change some suspension settings. We'll try and play with bump and rebound, considering it's all new to us. We'll up the rev limiter, and we'll also give it a bit more boost.
After our shoot, Mark steered the car to a low 102 around Wakefield Raceway. That's ridiculously quick for a street car around Wakefield. With times like that, we're certain the high-octane racing team will be able to show the Japanese tuners a thing or two.
Very excited, very excited. It's all starting to sink in now. It's all coming together. The car's gone together really well. All the support we've had from everyone has been really, really good. And yeah, it's not long now.
Stay tuned for our full report on Rev Speed Time Attack real soon.
Are you psyched for Japan?
Big time. The event that we're going to is going to have some mental cars there. So we're going to do a full feature on the event, and we're going to make sure we show you just how much the R32 GTR from High Octane Racing kicks ass.
So you're taking a bit of Aussie pride with you then?
Yeah, for sure. We're also going to catch up with our friends from Nismo and see their latest annual festival, and we're going to check out the new Nissan GTR. I'm psyched about that.
Well, then stay tuned for the action from Japan. But in the meantime, head to the Ignition X section to check out the latest product reviews and project car features.
Also, don't forget that next issue is our SEMA special. So we're going to bring you all the action from the biggest and wildest car show in the world.
See you then.